When I was a child, really around the first grade, so I was about 5, 6 years old, I had this reoccurring thought that came into my mind. God made a mistake. I'm a girl. So my body was telling me I was a boy. My thought was telling me that I was a girl. In the 6th grade, I was molested. That led me to hate my penis. When I started going to therapy and I wasn't finding any help for my problems, I was in such a low place that often I would sit on the floor and hold a pillow to my chest and just cry. I was a student at LSU and I was studying to be an engineer, and I was going to the school library. I knew how to do research. So I started researching what transgenderism was. DSM-3 was out. That was the most current book for psychological disorders, and transgenderism was identified in that book as a psychological disorder. I had a disorder. All of the books, all of the journal articles that I found were telling me that I had a birth defect, and that the leading theory was that in utero, my brain was washed with the wrong hormone. And that's why I had a woman's brain and not a man's brain. And that in order for me to find happiness, peace between my mind and my body, I had to change my body. So I went to my therapist and I told her that I want to transition. She shared with me that she knew I was going to come to this point one day. She gave me a hug and she said, we'll walk this together. She gave me a note to go see a doctor to start me on testosterone blockers and on estrogen and progesterone. Well, I was really ecstatic. I was really happy at that point because I was on the road to transitioning. My first surgery, I had a penile inversion. I had a brow shave, and I had an Adam's apple shave. So I had a lot done that very first surgery. Awful. Don't do it. Don't do it. Another surgery was rhinoplasty. If my face looked more feminine, I would pass. So I had rhinoplasty to create a more narrow, more feminine nose. No matter how many surgeries I had, I couldn't fool myself. Every time I would look into the mirror, I would still see a man staring back at me. And I made a decision to turn back, to go back to being male, because really, seriously, at that point, I had more problems then than I had at the beginning of the transition.